Hello, good evening, guys from Sweden. Again, yes, you have tuned into the right podcast. This is Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments with me, your host, Richard Bexon. I am currently in Sweden at the moment, visiting my father. So I apologize if the recording is not as good as it typically is. But anyway, today we're going to be talking with Cristina Guerrini of Cribo Lawyers. If you guys remember, she did episode 7 and also episode 34. I love to get her back on every so often just so we get an update on residency and also the digital nomad visa. Today, we're going to be going into more detail now as more of the actual application process kind of comes out for the digital nomad visa application, and also a little bit deeper into the investor residency benefits as well. So that's for you guys that invest basically $150,000 or more into Costa Rica. There are some benefits to you of doing that when you get residency here. So we're going to be talking about everything from all of those benefits, from tax benefits to get your partner potentially getting residency, to be able to bring in a container of furniture, to bring in 2 vehicles, etc. So remember, guys, if you have any questions for me, myself, you can email me at info@investingcostarica.com. That's richard@investingcostarica.com. It can be anything from relocation to vacation rentals to building hotels or cabins, anything that you want. I'm more than happy to see how I can help you. Remember, if you want to get in contact with Cristina as well, all of her contact details will be in the description, okay? And remember to subscribe to the channel, guys. Give us some thumbs up, comment away, and also reviews for you guys that are listening to it on Spotify and Apple. Let's get straight into it. Cristina, good morning to you, and I suppose good evening to me here in Sweden. It's the first podcast I've actually done out of Costa Rica, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to you. And I don't know, it's very nice to be here again. And thank you for taking the time to have this podcast again while you're in lovely Sweden.
No worries, no worries. I think you were just in Italy, right?
Yeah, I was just in Italy for a long time for family matters. So not all fun, but it
Yep.
was always nice, of course.
Well, I'm sure Costa Rica's happy to have you back. So, but anyway.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, I mean, I thought it was great. Again, I love to get you on every couple of episodes. I know we did episode 7, episode 34, and this is episode 51 now. So yeah, we just broke 50. So which is pretty big. But I mean, I asked you what had surprised you before, but let me just ask, in the last 3 months, what has really surprised you? Has anything changed?
Yes, it has. As always, I'm happy to see that immigration, in Spanish, you will say, se puso las pilas. It means they are trying to, speed things up,
Yep.
which is a very good news for the expats. The last time we spoke, I told you that if you request an appointment to submit your paperwork for the residency application, you will have to wait maybe 1 year if you do it by yourself. Now they are still giving appointment for 2022, but within 2 weeks from the request, they are rescheduling it for like 1 month from now. So
Wow.
this means if you call, you have an appointment and it's going to be, I don't know, June 2022 or August 2022. And then 2 weeks later, you receive a notice saying, hey, your appointment has been anticipated to November 10th.
Wow.
Which is a great news because, I mean, you want to start the process as soon as possible because it will take them quite some time to resolve your application, analyze your case file, and grant you the condition. And it's only from the moment you receive the condition that you can benefit from everything that means being a resident here in Costa Rica. So this is a great news, and I congratulate immigration authorities for the great job that they're doing.
Go immigration. It's not often we're saying that, so good for them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
there are 2 topics I'd like to discuss today. The first one, we'll get a little bit further into the digital nomad visa to get a bit of an update, what the process is. And then also talk a little bit about the investor visa, as I know a lot of people are investing in Costa Rica at the moment. We discussed on a previous episode about how that being reduced from 200 to 150,000, but get a little bit more into kind of the weeds on that one. But let's jump back to the digital nomad visa. Could you just give us a bit of an update?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you know, the law passed, it has been signed, but we are still waiting for immigration authorities to issue their regulation. So, in this case, I'm not that happy with immigration authorities because in that they're late, but I mean, they are not perfect as always. What I'm saying is that even though the law is in place, people cannot submit their application yet because immigration doesn't have the structure. So even though you may say, hey, I have all the requirements, I want to start the process, unfortunately, we cannot help you. We could help you scheduling the appointments, but again, since it has been anticipated from 2 weeks from now, that will not give us enough time to see immigration really putting in place the system to file and receive digital nomad visa applications. So yeah, unfortunately, we will have to wait a bit longer. This is why with our clients, we are trying to find different paths to follow. Maybe like the estancia visa application could be a good solution in the meantime. And so yeah, digital nomad is not in place yet. This is bad news, unfortunately.
Cristina, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I have my cita, I have my appointment with immigration, say, and they do change
Yeah.
it to, I don't know, if I have my appointment, it still means I can stay in the country. I don't need to leave every 90 days, right?
It is correct. But now, I mean, let's say they anticipated to November, then you can only stay until November. If,
Yeah.
let's say you have appointment August 2022, they reschedule it for November 10, 2021. Either you go to the appointment and submit your paperwork, or you have to do a border run to renew your visa. There are no other option.
True. Can you reject that appointment or not?
You cannot reject it. You can
Okay.
just maybe reschedule another one, but you may want to be careful and not do too many rescheduling. And I'm recommending our clients to reschedule only once we have all the requirements and once
Okay.
we are sure that we can submit the paperwork.
Okay. How does the digital nomad visa apply if you have families, Cristina?
Okay, if you have family, there is a big benefit because as an individual, to the threshold to be able to apply is an income of $3,000 per month. On the contrary, if you are a family group, it is necessary to have $4,000, which can be split between all the family members. So you can sum all the income of, the wife, the husband, and even direct family member will count as per the law states. So it is an income that I think is reachable. It's pretty reasonable, and families should be able to apply as digital nomad. Also, this is great news because digital nomad, let's remember, it is a subcategory of the general category of estancia visa. But the peculiarity of estancia visa is that it does not apply to dependents of the person who is applying for the estancia visa. Estancia visa, just to recap, is a special permit that can be granted to a person who is invited here to provide services to a Costa Rican corporation, services for which the expat will not be receiving any salary. So digital nomad is a subcategory. It is similar because it's always a special permit of 1 year, but it can be requested also for family members, which is a great news. I've seen in my experience, most of the digital nomad that are here, they have a family.
Yep.
So yeah, it is a great news.
I mean, if somebody's looking to apply to the digital nomad visa and they were to apply with you guys, how much would they be looking at a cost to apply for, say, one person compared to, I don't know, a family?
Okay, so for one person, we charge of legal fees $700, and for the expenses, we will have to see, the final regulation of immigration authorities because they are yet to establish the expenses.
Okay.
I also have another good news because this is the price we are applying. I mean, we are quoting now because again, we are not starting this application.
Yep.
But we are happy to announce that in November, it's going to be our anniversary, and we will be granting a 10% discount to all the clients that will reach out to us in November and will sign, an agreement with us in November, because we want to be thankful and we want to return all the good things that people have given us in this year, which has been amazing. I'm super happy.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys.
Thanks.
So, I mean, basically, is that $700 per applicant, or if a family applies with you guys, there'll be a bit of a discount as well?
Right. You asked about family. So for the family groups, we have a volume discount. We understand that the family cannot afford to be paying $700 for each family member. So we usually have discounts. The amount will depend on how many dependents they have. For example, let's say it's a couple, we are thinking about charging $700 for the principal and $600 for the wife or husband. If they have 3 kids, we will never be asking $600 for the 3 kids, maybe a little less. We will try to see that. As a general rule, We try to have a fixed rate to all our clients because we hate, it's not that we think, can this guy pay us more? Let's
Of
charge him
course.
more. So we charge a fair amount, which we consider is fair regarding, the amount of time that we will have to spend preparing the case file, following up and keeping the client informed and accompanying him through the process. So, but again, we don't charge more to clients that can pay more, but sometimes we can be sensitive. It's family groups. We have tried to be flexible. For example, we usually request a 50% in advance, but sometimes in family groups, we request 25, then another 25, and then so on. So we want to be flexible. We understand that budget can be an issue for some families or corporation as well. So we work with corporation as well, and we must be, conscious that money can be a problem sometimes.
Yep. Well, I mean, I can vouch for you guys just because, again, you guys are about to do my citizenship because I've been a resident here for 17 years. So when I get back, I'll have the paperwork ready for you guys to apply for my citizenship, and I'll become a full-on tico.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so honored to be helping you with that. Super excited.
Hey, I'm honored to have you do it for me. So let's change gears now to the investor residency here that we have. I mean, can you explain kind of where we're at with that? I know the amount was $200,000 investment. It's now dropped to $150,000. Can you kind of give us a bit of an idea of what's happening, where we're at with that? Can people apply for it now? And also, what are the benefits and how you go about applying for those benefits?
Okay, so with investor residency, the good thing is that it was already a category before the new law with the new incentives. So it is possible to submit application as investors and request, to only apply the new threshold of $150,000. The other big news of the law that you are remember is that there are many benefits from the tax perspective that will apply to investors. We have not seen them being applied yet because, the law is super new. We have not seen a case finalized yet within this few months for investors. What the law states is that once the person is granted the condition as investor, and by the way, this will apply also to retirees and rentistas, but let's focus on the investor category. Once you obtain the residency, immigration authorities shall notify the tax administration and tell them Richard Beckson is an investor here, so will be eligible for all the tax benefits stated in the law 9,996 of 2021. What are those benefits? First of all, you can import household item in a container without paying import taxes, so on a duty-free regime. You could even import up to 2 vehicles, and be careful, it doesn't mean only cars. You could even import, 2 helicopters or 2 planes if you have them.
Wow.
And even boats, wow. It's just any type of vehicle. This is stated by the law, right? But the big news for investors is that there is a huge discount, let's say like that, or a big exemption on the transfer tax. So if the investor decides to invest again and buy real estate, he will pay 20% less of transfer tax. So this will make a big difference because, transfer tax is a big a big amount to consider if you're buying real estate in Costa Rica. So that is a great news. These are the most important benefits. The other one is that, for example, if you are investing and you have an income stated as basis of the category that you are obtaining as investor, that will also be not exempt from paying any taxes. So wow. that is not really clear because in theory, investor is a person who invested in real estate or corporations, now that he's receiving an income. And so this rule is not really clear. Also, this rule applies for the rentistas. But rentistas are people who are receiving $2,500 here. And so they're not supposed to work. So it's not clear how this will work. But there are a bunch of tax benefits that will be applied. We will have to wait a bit longer because also for this law, immigration was supposed to issue a regulation, which we haven't seen yet. So we must be patient, but I have clients so excited. They're already preparing a container with household items like, okay, I'm putting everything in the container. I don't care. So eventually I will be able to ship it, but I want to know what I can put inside immediately.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It's funny that you do that because I know that I'd consulted with you before because I was, we kicked off here Costa Rica tourism bonds, which was, investments, basically bonds into pre-existing tourism resorts, where one of them that we issued, our first one, was a $200,000 investment into a bond over 15 years. People would get returns. So they'd be receiving like a 4% fixed return, plus also they'd get an annual stay at the hotel for up to 14 nights in a luxury resort. And also at the end of the 15 years, they get their money back, but they could also apply for residency. Now, it's interesting you say that because, again, I'm sure once it's all clarified, is on the 4% that you get paid back, you'd have to pay tax on that anyway. But here in Costa Rica, a withholding tax of like 15% for declaración de la renta. So theoretically, you wouldn't have to pay that 15% if, of course, you didn't have to pay tax on any income in Costa Rica.
Yeah, we will have to see how that will work. I mean, it is questionable. So, it's a fight that may be worth fighting against. I mean, we will have to clarify and, say, hey, I'm not supposed to pay this because this is what the law states.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, we will have to wait for the criteria of tax administration.
Yep.
But there is a chance that it may not be taxed.
Wow. Well, that's great news. Well, we'll see when it comes out. There's great news. There's the possibility. But
exactly.
So I keep getting asked about this because sometimes, someone's going to make a $250,000 investment here in Costa Rica. They're buying a property. It's a husband and wife. They're like, oh, do we both need to invest 150,000 or is it only one of us? And the other one can kind of apply as, a codependent. I mean, how does that work?
Okay, so all temporary residencies, which include investor, rentista, retiree, and business executives of corporation, can request the residency for themselves and for their direct family members as dependents. Now, what does this mean apply to the investor category? As you're saying, the threshold is $150,000, but how about it's me and my husband doing investment? And let's say we buy a house for $250,000. Okay, we must be careful, and this is important for the attorney to guide the person, because if we do that and we split the investment 50-50, then none of us will reach the threshold. And it's not that you can sum as you do for the digital nomad family member. You sum, I make 3,000, my husband make 1,000.
Yep.
And so I sum up to 4,000. No, in this case, you cannot sum family investment. It must be one person, the principal investor. So I recommend clients to make sure that at least one of them reaches the threshold. Then they can, also have the partner helping with investment, but at least one of the family members must have the 150 so that he can request it. And then all the other will be dependents. How does this apply in case of a corporation? You must make sure that the ownership of the shares of the corporation are subdivided in parts that are in portion that are proportional. Sorry for to the investment. Okay, so I must own shares that correspond to at least $150,000. Then my wife or my husband can own shares for the remaining part.
Okay, I think that's really important for people to understand, because sometimes, again, someone will set up a corporation, they'll hold a property in a corporation rather than holding it in their own name for reasons of power of attorney when they're not in Costa Rica. I'm going through it at the moment with a client that I'm helping at the moment who the property's in husband and wife's name, not in a corporation. They're in Washington. And in order to do the signing, they have to go to the consulate in the US to get in the US to get the power of attorney to come down here. And anyway, it's a nightmare. That's why sometimes having in a corporation is a lot easier. But I think it's really important. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's really important. And it's not that expensive to set a corporation up here in Costa Rica, to be inactive. You don't need to file taxes. There is an annual filing you need to do and pay an annual inactive fee. But I do think it's much better than holding it in your personal name.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, having a corporation here could help the expat, opening a bank account at the name of the corporation, buying a plan for their mobile phone, which they could not do before they become resident officially. So it's important. The other recommendation I have is, there are many immigration experts out there, many corporate attorneys. You may want to reach out to a law firm that can help you as a one-stop shop, as we try to do to our clients, because By doing this, you make sure that you're covered 100%, and you
Yep.
can go to somebody who maybe is super expert in corporate matters, but maybe they don't know immigration law, so they cannot provide a
I agree.
broad advice. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I mean, just because I'm interested, I mean, what types of residency applications are you seeing more of at the moment, and why do you think that is?
So investor, I see a lot of them, and I think it is, you know, especially people that were here for here, that have been here for years, and they
Yep.
never applied for residency, but COVID hit them, and maybe they were stuck abroad. They could not come in because even though they owned a property, they were not resident. So that I've seen a lot. And I'm happy to say that I've seen a lot of people buying new real estate. So investor is the most common category at the moment. We have seen a lot of pensionados as well that we have seen. Rentistas, not that many, but we've also seen that. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think listeners should know that maybe that we've not discussed at the moment, Cristina?
I will say just a recommendation. Before you decide to move to Costa Rica, come here. Try the Costa Rican experience. Try to live here. Make sure you find the right spot for you, because Costa Rica has many different places, and not every place can be fit for a person. So for example, I like San Jose and I like Nosara. Other people prefer Santa Teresa. Other they prefer Tamarindo. So I really invite people to first come here, and even if possible, meet with the attorney you're going to be working with. It's important, the connection. And Costa Rican are very friendly, but if you don't know the culture, you might want to try it first.
Yeah.
Also, to make sure that you can fit. It is important, and I invite all foreigners to try to learn Spanish. If you want to come and live here, let's try to make Costa Rica your home and not recreate, for example, US and Costa Rica or Italy and Costa Rica. So when I came here, my Spanish one was not perfect, and I tried to improve it as fast as possible, because I want this country to understand that I'm thankful. Costa Rica gave me a lot, and I want to return it. So I want to make Costa Rican understand that I want to fit within the community. I want to be part of the community. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I think that's great advice. I actually I speak to a lot of people every day. I spoke to someone this morning that was thinking about moving here to Costa Rica. They were like, great, we want to buy real estate. And I was like, okay, where did you come? How many times you've been? They were like, no, we've not been anymore before. And I was like, okay, let's slow down. Let's figure out first is, okay, what's the lifestyle that you want? What should be the amenities and services and community? What is the climate that you want, to really identify the locations that could work for you? Then come and explore those areas. If you want to, I'm more than happy to help. Like, explore those areas, figure out which one's right for you, and then rent before you buy. Because a lot of people don't understand here is to exit a property that, like, if you're a foreigner, you don't have access to finance. Only locals here have access to finance, and there aren't that many people here, as a percentage of the population, that probably could get access to finance to buy something very nice at the beach or inland. So to exit a property is not that quick, meaning to sell it. It doesn't, sell as quickly as it does in other parts of the world, just because finance is not readily available here. And it's expensive. People are paying anywhere from 6.5% to 12% interest. So, it's a very expensive endeavor. So I just say to people, rent maybe for a year, figure out if it's the right location. If you like it, then, you can explore buying.
And try the rainy season, because some clients come here in December and everything, especially at the beach. Oh, wow, we love it here. Yeah, you have to try the rainy season as well.
Yep.
Because that is going to be part of the package.
I love it. It's my favorite time of year.
Oh, no.
No, you don't like it? No?
No, not at the beach. In San Jose, I like it. San Jose is fun. So I'd rather have, my life at the beach during the high season, and I can come here when it's rainy here in San Jose, because I'm in San Jose at the moment.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Cristina, the question that I always ask at the end of every episode: if you inherited $500,000 and you had to invest it into business or real estate in Costa Rica at the moment, what would you do with it and why?
My answer is always the same: real estate close to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular features you would invest in?
Yeah, as I told you, I like Nosara. It's where my partner has his business running. So we are actually looking for a property. So any leads will be much appreciated.
Awesome. There you go, guys. If you have any property for sale in Nosara, please let Cristina know. She's looking for something.
Yeah, thank you. I will like that.
No worries. Well, Cristina, I very much appreciate your time as always. This has been great. We'll continue to kind of get you on and get an update as we kind of move through this process, and immigration gets even more of its act together, and stuff starts to come out. But anyone that wants to contact you, I'll put all your contact details in the description. And Cristina, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Richard. It was super nice to see you.
You have a great day.
Bye. You too. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, another great episode there from Cristina Guerrini there, giving us a bit of an update there on the Digital Nomad Visa. Bunch of stuff that I didn't know there. Again, those appointments being moved up, that like you get them for 2022, and then kind of 2 weeks later they move them up really quickly to kind of November, December time. So make sure that you have all your documents ready. Because a lot of the time people will set their appointments, then go to get their documents because they don't have a bunch of time. But it sounds like at the moment is have your documents ready as soon as you actually apply for the process. Also great, I thought was great feedback there, was also putting, on a corporation. If you're going to be buying some real estate here or buying something and putting in a corporation, make sure that the principal person that's applying for residency or is going to apply for residency, that their shares have a value of at least $150,000 or more. So for instance, if you bought a property, I don't know, for $200,000, make sure that the principal has, I don't know, and there are 200 shares, make sure that the main person applying has 150 or more shares of the 200 shares, just so that, again, you can apply for residency via the $150,000 investment visa. Also interesting was the, we'd have to see a bit further down the line and see how that works out. The application of the, the tax-free for income here in Costa Rica. That would be very interesting for anybody that would be looking to rent properties here as well, not paying tax on them. My gut says, knowing one of our tax lawyer is actually the ex-head of Tributación, which is the IRS here. Knowing those guys is they're probably going to drag their feet on that one. So I would be very reluctant to say that we'll see any tax benefits on that front, but you never know. So remember, guys, as well, if anybody needs any help with anything, finding property here in Costa Rica, or just want some advice, you can contact us at info@investingcostarica.com. That's info@investingcostarica.com. We're more than happy to help out with anything and everything. So it's been a great podcast again, guys. And there are very many more to come. We're not stopping. We've actually, I think we broke close to 20,000 downloads the other day on YouTube, and also on Apple, and also Spotify once you add it all up. So I'd love basically seeing this snowballing. I hope you guys are finding it useful. Remember, guys, if you've enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up, reviews, comments. It helps more and more people basically get this valuable information in front of them. Have a great day, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.